Excellent connection. Oh, thank you.
Excellent. Party time. Excellent.
And that just goes all.
Yeah, and it just goes
by itself. Boop. You don't have to worry about it. So.
It's like, boop, we're alive. Here we go.
Here we go. My big glasses on. Oh, boy.
I'll go onto YouTube from my phone and see if I can look at comments as well. And we'll wait a few minutes
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Wait a few minutes to get things going.
Right back.
Okay. Ooh. It says there's 2 watching.
2 whole people.
Wow, 2 people. Yay. Jeffrey's here. Jeffrey says hello. Hi, Jeffrey. Hey guys. Yeah, we just signed on to go live, and we're gonna try something different with the podcast. We decided rather than trying to edit and upload something that takes hours sometimes, to rather just stream it live from the studio here, and we can talk about what we normally talk about on podcasts. We call it Living the Scream, behind the scenes of the Mummy and the Monkey show. And half of the podcast talks about the reselling, the eBay side of it, our thrifting and scavenging. And then the other half of the podcast talks about behind the scenes of the Mummy and the Monkey's Hairy Scary Hangout.
That's right.
So here we are, just us, Janet and James.
That's right. The monkey's not here. I am borrowing Grimm's little mouse station here to drive the show, but that's about it. That's what this is here. I got to put the do you have comments? Are you doing that on your phone?
Yeah, there's just a couple people chatting right now.
I can move this here.
So it's not that, yeah.
Well,
we weren't expecting a large crowd this morning.
Yes,
because
I was.
because, well, it's early in the morning. A lot of people might be at work or at school. But that's okay. They can watch the replay later.
Yeah.
So I've got my notes here, and we've got our coffee. And, oh, you got to see this coffee mug. It's an Egyptian coffee
How
mug.
apropos.
Yeah. Perfect for the mummy, right?
I got my Boy Scout Order of the Arrow coffee mug that I found at a thrift store that was full of dust and garbage, but I actually went up for this thing back in the day, and I got my Order of the Arrow sash and the button and the neckerchief thing, the whole thing. But yeah, good memories, good times in the Boy Scouts.
And the coffee and garbage, adds flavor to the coffee, right?
That's like
you said you found it in a pile of garbage.
Well, no, it had kind of junk in the bottom of it, dusty.
Oh.
Maybe someone uses as a pen holder. I don't know what they do.
Wow.
As a I don't know what that was.
All right.
Oh, Sinead is here.
Yes. Hello, Sinead. Sinead.
Like that's so cute. Your coffee cups. Huh?
Aw, thank you. Okay,
All
so
right.
Reselling and that part. We're going to talk about that part first.
But do you have to do the intro first?
Oh, yes.
Or do we do on the audio or no?
No, we could do that.
All right, ready?
Ready.
1, 2, 3. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for another episode of
Living the Scream! The behind the scenes of the Mummy and the Monkey.
That's right, with your hosts, Janet and James. That's right, we portray Grimm Gorri and Janet Decay on the Mummy and the Monkey's Hairy Scary Hangout, which you can watch usually every Friday night at 10 p.m. on our Facebook page. Not here.
And then later I try to upload the replay on our YouTube channel. But to catch it live, you have to watch it on our Facebook fan page, or you can watch the simulcast on Public Media Network's Roku channel, Fire Stick channel, and Apple TV app.
That's right. And when we do that usually from 10 p.m. to midnight on Friday nights, and then right after that we switch over to our YouTube channel where we do the Mummy and the Monkey's Hairy Scary Hangover.
Yeah.
Which is a post show. It's kind of a wrap up show, but we usually have other topics we talk about for at least an hour. And then we just started something kind of new a few weeks ago, but it really kicked off last week. On Facebook, about 15 minutes, around 9:45, we start a pre-show hosted by our puppet. You shouldn't call him a puppet.
Well, we could talk more about that during the second half.
Yeah, but I'm just giving people a little heads up on what we do.
Sure.
Entirely. So, yeah, so from about 9:45 to 1 a.m., you get a huge dose of the Mummy and the Monkey on Friday night. So anyway, let's get onto the first half of the show, which deals with our reselling.
Yes. So a thought came to mind
Yeah.
You don't always have to be a reseller to be thrifty or find something thrifty. An example, like sometimes when we go to the flea market or a yard sale or a thrift store, we also look for cool things for the house. Or maybe like a cool shirt for us to wear. Like the shirt I'm wearing right now was thrifted just last week.
How many feet in a yard sale? Do you know the answer to that
How
question?
many feet in a yard sale?
Yeah, just dawned on me.
Depends on the yard, I guess.
Yeah, I'm bad at math, so maybe somebody, if you know how many feet are in a yard sale, please let me know. Go ahead.
And this is why we should use the metric system.
Maybe, but still, you still got issues.
3 feet in a yard.
Okay, sale.
In a regular yard. I don't know about the yard
well,
sale.
see, that's a different equation altogether.
But yeah, I mean, you can, what we resell on eBay, that's a good chunk of our source of income. I also sell on Mercari. I sell some things on there here and there. And
or as some people pronounce it, Mercury.
It's Mercari. It's a selling app that you can put on your phone, and it's very easy to list things on there. They don't get as much traffic as like eBay or Etsy or Amazon, but I have put some old records on there.
Old records
And like
from
some
the 80s.
From the 80s.
Oh, your old records.
I guess it's considered old now.
Thanks.
I'm sorry, not
Thanks.
calling people old, because if I said the 80s are old, I'm calling myself old.
You were
too.
born in the 80s. You're getting
I was
compliments.
made in the 80s.
You got a compliment on your shirt.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So I look for, like, I'll
And I
look.
made out in the 80s. Or you were made in the 80s. Go ahead.
I was made in the 80s, yes. But yeah, we resell, but then we also find cool stuff, you know, for the house or cool stuff to wear for us.
So you're saying, yeah. So, you know, I'd say 95% of the time we go out, it's always buying for inventory and to sell, to flip.
Most of the time it is, but every now and then you'll find a few things for yourself.
And you can too.
And you can too. Yeah, even if you're not a reseller, it is fun to like look for a bargain or to upcycle, like maybe a vintage table that you repaint and use it for something cool in your house.
Like our friend Chris, who is a vet assistant.
She's a vet tech.
Vet tech. And she did something clever. And I asked her the other day, did she come up with it? She said, no, but it doesn't even matter because I never saw it before.
Yes.
Until she started doing it. But she takes little end tables. And it's interesting because don't think a regular little stick peg leg end table. Think of an ornate, like, you know, end table.
Like a little wooden side table with these really ornate, fancy legs that look like they're carved.
So think of something like that. Now flip it upside down. Add a cushion in the middle of it and a little top, and you got a pet bed.
Yeah, she turns them into these cat canopy little beds.
Very cool.
That look very cute and fancy. She'll like repaint them. She'll make like the bedding. She'll make the little canopy for it.
It is really cool.
It's really cute.
Add some stuff like little knobs, like crystal knobs over on top of the where the feet would be.
Yeah.
When you flip it over, you can put depending on the way you decorate it.
Yeah.
But very cool idea. So that's like that's an example of upcycling.
Upcycling, turning, finding a cool old vintage thing. Maybe you get it for a couple bucks at a yard sale, or you find it on the curb. You pick it and you turn it into something unique.
Yeah, so Google that. You can find out more on how it looks. Yeah, and then other things that like what do we upcycle? Anything that we usually we look for stuff for props and things too.
Yeah, sometimes we look for like you said you found on the curb last week someone was throwing away an old little Magnavox TV and it had the old dials.
Yeah, an old it might be a color TV. It might be black and white. I'm
not
really
it was
sure.
Like a little boxy, maybe like an early 80s television with the dials, maybe late 70s. But sometimes those do still work.
Yeah.
And we have old televisions as props on our set here. Like underneath this couch, you can't see it now.
Yeah, but if you pull back there, we've got like
we have a couple old televisions with the dials.
Yeah, and one works. So
one works. So
well, you get static. You get the snow on it. But.
Yeah, but the static effect looks cool, and it's something. It's kind of like another little light for the background.
I have an idea, and I will talk about it later about what we could do with those TVs. But yeah.
But it's fun to do things like that. So even if you're not a reseller, it's fun to look for things like that, and it saves something from ending up in a landfill. Yeah. You're giving it an old, unique item new life and doing something fun with it. And you can't find things like that at those big box stores. You can't find new things like that.
So I have a question, speaking of that, because I think that's kind of in between what you're talking about, as far as buying for yourself and finding a bargain at a thrift store or a garage sale or a flea market and buying something to resell. Now, I think reselling definitely has affected the pricing in most thrift stores. In other words, they know a lot of people are trying to flip stuff. So to take as much meat off the bone as possible, let's say they'll like eBay. They'll go on eBay and they'll search like this, like a name brand thing, especially if they recognize as Nike or
like
Coach
Nike
or whatever.
Yeah, Nike or Coach.
And
Like good examples.
There used to be a time, I'm sure, way back before all this, you could waltz into any thrift store and buy a Coach bag for $2 that you would have probably paid $200 for without even knowing.
Maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying there was a time.
I wish I had a time machine because I would love to go back in time to like the Goodwills of the 90s and early 2000s and buy up all that stuff that was dirt cheap.
So my point is, depending on what you're looking for, you might not get such a bargain, because there's times like some thrift stores like have jeans, let's say, for and they're like Goodwill. I think they have like a across the board price, right?
Yes.
And
well, some Goodwills, so like it depends on the county. So we're in Northeast Ohio. I know the Goodwills in like Medina and Summit counties, all of their pants or all of their jeans are like one price. I think they're like $5 or $6.
Yeah, but we've seen some jeans that were like $15. And
yeah.
So
like at the Savers or at the Goodwill up near Cleveland and in the northern Ohio cities, they charge you more based on the cities.
So sometimes, like, say you're looking for a pair of jeans, and you're not gonna wear just any old jeans. People have their their specific kind they like, right?
Yes.
Certain brands, certain cuts, certain style, Levi's, whatever. So sometimes I've seen stuff that's like only a few dollars less if you bought it brand new.
Yes.
Which is, there's no bargain there.
So sometimes if you search like the Kohl's or other department stores, if you check their clearance, or if they're running like a special on jeans, sometimes that's a better bargain than buying the jeans secondhand.
Yeah. Which
is very strange because they get all that stuff donated for free. You would think that they would just price it to move it since they get in so many different items. So yeah, when you see a pair of jeans for like $15, I'm thinking I could go to like the Walmart or Kohl's and probably buy new jeans for $15 or $20. Why would I spend $15 for used jeans?
Right.
Unless if it was like some really nice designer brand,
well, then
where maybe brand new they're $100. Then it's like, okay, I could pay $15 for that because it's better than buying them new.
Well, that's different, right? But I'm saying, but if they're only if anything out there obviously is a few bucks cheaper, and that's what you have to be, aware of when you go to thrift stores, because again, not everything is priced at a real bargain.
Yeah, you can find a lot of bargains, but not everything is a bargain.
No.
So that is a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so this trust me, there's times where like, God, we could just spend $2 more and get this brand new at Walmart or at Kohl's or wherever, whatever you're buying.
Right, yeah.
Whether it's a utility, something like a tool or a clothes, doesn't matter. Sometimes it's like that close.
So a good example, some of the thrift stores, if it's like Nike or Skechers, they'll price the used shoes sometimes for $10, $15, $20. Well, these are used shoes. They're worn. Some of them aren't so fresh. Some of them should probably get thrown away because you can't really.
Yeah, but
they're kind of gross. When you look at some of these shoes at the thrift store, there are some that look like new and they're in good shape, but. So in that case, it might be better to go to Marshall's and buy them new at a discount.
And that's something
than to buy them used.
And that's something they don't do. All they do is look up the brand name. They don't even condition has nothing to do with the shoe.
They don't even check the condition.
Right.
So like there was a pair of Coach shoes I saw that were stained up, ripped up, beat up. $15 they wanted for them. Yeah. No one's gonna pay that. That shouldn't even be on the shelf. You should throw those away.
They just price them according to the stuff they look up, and just because they don't want to, they're afraid they're going to get had by a reseller. I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
Because
they were probably trained. Oh, if it's a designer thing, mark it up.
Yeah, because as a reseller, let's say you found those at a yard sale for $25, or they were in, then you could flip them for $15. At least it's
depending on the condition.
Well, but if you got the $15 for $25, it's not. But you can't buy them for $15 and sell them for $50. I mean, obviously,
no, it doesn't. It would not make any sense.
You couldn't sell them for $30. You couldn't double up the price. You couldn't.
No way.
Double the price at all on those.
Yeah, it does not make any sense. Let's check the comments a minute, and then we'll get back to the discussion. Since this is technically like our podcast right now. Sinead says, "Go Ohio, Cleveland here."
Oh, Mark Gary says, out of curiosity, are we being besieged by cicadas? You like cicadas?
I love cicadas, but we have not seen any in our area.
Yeah, I haven't
I
seen them
guess
yet or heard
in
them.
other parts of Ohio, there's a ton of cicadas everywhere. I would love to see them. I think they're really cute.
Well, Mark is offering to send us some.
Oh, are you gonna mail us
Yeah,
some?
just send a bunch of
Aw.
a ton of them up here.
No, don't do that.
I'm sure they'll be around. Last year they were they were like crazy last year.
Well, we did see some, but our
Towards the end of summer, I really heard them in the trees.
yeah, they are. I think they're cute.
The
They
bird
don't
food.
they don't bite anyone. They don't sting anyone.
They
They're
used to, as a kid, they used to scare me because
well,
they were just
they're
big.
because they're big bugs.
But they
they're
don't do
just
anything.
big, goofy looking bugs. They don't hurt anybody.
They're basically bird food, right?
yeah. It's for the birds to eat. Sorry, cicadas.
They're big, delicious meals for birds.
They've been underground for 17 years. Let them come out and party. Just let them be.
That's what I'm saying.
Let them be.
That's what I'm saying.
They're not hurting anyone.
Yeah. I keep fussing with my shirt. Excuse my man bod or my dad bod. Dad bod, I meant. I am a man. I think.
So sales have been steady on eBay.
Yes.
Over the weekend and last weekend they were pretty good. But during the week I noticed it gets real slow where maybe I'll sell one thing all day. I know during the summer months, that is in general when retail is slower, people are spending less. And if they are going shopping, they're buying stuff for summer. Maybe camping supplies, maybe new swimsuits, maybe stuff to go have a picnic outside. They're not really buying they're not buying boots or pants or
Well, that's a seasonal thing, obviously.
Maybe they're not spending as much on collectibles. So
Well, I don't know that. But okay.
just in general.
I
mean, other people's
relative.
Yeah.
Is what because there's stuff this is what we were just talking about the other day is that it almost has to do with what obviously I mean it's an
what you
obvious
have
thing,
for
of
sale.
course.
Of course, if you have the right items and someone's looking for those unique, rare items, yeah, it could sell like that.
Well, yeah. I
But-
mean, look, a lot of stuff I put up is sort of oddball, and it's going to sit for a while. It's going to be long tail. But
Yeah.
there have been some things that I put up, and right away they sell because that's what someone's looking for. And then, so what you should do, or what should do, is model their eBay after that. Find only those things that sell quickly, unless you just want to sit there and have stuff trickle in. And we have a balance of that. I wish my sales were a little more brisk, but that has to do with what I'm listing though. But I got to get out of the jag of just listing stuff I think is cool and kitsch,
Yeah. Well, we also have been decluttering the past 2 weeks, and we have a bunch of stuff we need to donate today. But
Oh yeah.
yeah. So it does feel nice to declutter, and I've even been going through some of my old inventory from like 2-3 years ago. Some stuff that just sat and wasn't selling. Those like dog items, like bad inventory, or maybe back in the day when you purchased it, you thought, oh, that's cool, maybe I could sell it. But in reality, even though you might think it's cool,
Nobody wants it.
that doesn't mean it's going to sell. That doesn't
You
mean other people think it's
I hear other resellers that we watch on YouTube always refer that you got to find that person, that one buyer, and it might be literally just one buyer. For instance, this morning I listed some stuff, and one of them was a DVD I found just yesterday. It says get fit at any age, right? I looked it up at the store. I mean, I paid $1 for
Oh, it was like a workout tape?
Yeah.
Or workout DVD?
Yeah, and someone had only one. There was only one up for like $70, right?
Uh-huh.
And I put it up, and it's for $50, and I think I got free shipping on it, and it's already got within an hour it came up as someone's watching it, and I can send an offer if I want, but I'm not going to send an offer yet.
Okay.
I'll let it set for a second, and another thing I put up, I haven't heard anything from it since I put it up, except for I put up a CD I found, a CD no, it's not a single, it's a promo CD by a band named Blur, BLUR.
I've never heard of that band.
I've heard of them. You would recognize some of their music especially from the mid '90s.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
They put out a CD called Mind Tank or Think Tank, and it was released regularly. But I have a promo version. It's a cardboard sleeve, and it has a rubber stamp on it. I didn't, a graphic of a guy holding a gas pump, dispenser up to his head, right? In a
You
circle.
should have just brought the CD to show.
It's okay. Well, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
But I'm just explaining something real quick. So the reason, so I bought the CD for $1 at the Goodwill last week, and I bought it because when I looked it up, it goes. People have it listed for $500 because the rubber stamp on there is done by a graffiti artist from Britain named Banksy. And these were like a limited promo thing, and I guess he hand stamped a limited number of these cardboard sleeve CDs, and so I put mine up for $500.
Ooh. And how much did you pay again?
$1. But I didn't know until I looked it up. I was like, okay, well, yeah, you definitely got to get this one.
Yeah.
But that's when we talk about shopping what they don't know. They're not going to sit up there and look at every CD.
Yeah, it's finding what they don't know. And you have this uncanny ability to find the really rare, hard to find CDs.
I know. It's my mutant superpower.
So I think
that
right now, yeah.
That DVDs and VHS too. Like the media, I know.
The hard to find media. And not everyone has the patience to do that. I know I don't.
I love it.
And you seem really good at that. So when we go to a thrift store, he'll look through the CDs and I'll just, let him do his thing.
But after I listed it, about a few hours later, I got an offer from someone, I think in Norway or something. He offered me $200 for it, and I countered $375 because they look like they could sell for at least $300 to $400.
Yeah, I mean $200 is a nice chunky offer.
Well, because you're getting a piece of art. It's
original art.
By a very, very, well-known graffiti artist underground. No one knows what this guy looks like, Banksy. It's a whole thing. And
I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah. So this would be like owning a piece of his art because he hand-stamped it. So it's, but anyway, so I'll just sit on it. And I've got $1 into it. I can wait a little bit.
Yeah. And that's even better, too. Like, you don't have a lot invested into it. So, yeah, you can let it sit.
Another example, I had a dude that... you're excused.
The coffee.
Thank God it was just that. But there was another CD single I found by a rap artist. I'd never heard of him before. And I put it up for, I don't know, like ridiculous, $200 or something like that. And because, again, I have $1 into it.
Mm-hmm.
What do I care? So this one potential buyer kept riding me. He goes, this thing's not worth that much. Yeah, laugh out loud. You think you're going to... I'm like... But what I'm saying, my whole point is,
he was mocking you and lowballing you. Offers.
Well, lowballing,
like sending you really low offers.
It may only be worth that much. I mean, to some, but that's what it's worth to him.
Yeah.
But I've only got $1 into it. I don't.
So you can be patient and wait it out.
Because it's happened. Because I've had stuff, and no matter what it is, but. CDs like that one, Joy. I never heard of this band before. That one with those weird songs on it.
Mm-hmm.
I put it up for $100. A few months later, it sold for $100.
Yeah, so if you wait a few months, some of them could sell.
Especially it depends what you have into it.
You have to find the right buyer, and if it's something that's really hard to find, and the person really wants it for their collection. Now, fair offers. I mean, we're totally okay with someone messaging us and offering something fair.
Of course.
But when, let's say you have a rare item that is hard to find, and you put it up for $500, and you could get at least a couple $100 for it, and someone turns around and they're like, here's $10. That's my offer.
Well, my favorite is...
I counter with, like, let's say my asking price is $500. I'll counter with $499.99.
Yeah, see, now you're playing the game. And I don't do that. See, what I'll do is if somebody...
I do it to be fun.
Let's say if I have something for $100, someone offers me $20. I'll go $75. I'll knock a few. Then they'll come... But what I don't like is they come back with 26. Like they're only going to do that $1 increment, and that's when they're playing a game.
Yeah, that's when it's like, all right, I don't know if I want to deal with you.
Negotiation over. Yeah. Or I don't like when I get shut down. And then if you offer something, I get to counter. That means you get to counter too.
It's called haggling.
Yeah.
It's called negotiating.
When people don't want to at least meet you halfway on stuff, I mean, it's not worth it to them, and it's fine. It's all about what something is worth to you.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God that I would say at least. So for me personally, like 98.5% of the stuff I sell is good to go. Nobody ever returns it or wants a return.
Yeah, I mean, I get maybe a couple returns every couple months.
Yeah, same here.
Maybe one every 2 months. And I do sell some clothing. I do sell some shoes and purses, and most people seem happy with what they purchase.
Yeah, and I think your returns are mostly like the purses and clothing. Mine's electronics because
like sometimes I'll get a pair of shoes back where someone says, "Well, it didn't really fit me right, or it felt too tight on my toes."
Whatever. I mean, it's like
and I try to have all the sizing in there and all the info there, and every now and then. Something doesn't fit right. Sure. And it's like, okay, that's fine. You could send it back.
Yeah, you're going to have a higher percentage of that if you just deal with clothing and shoes and purses.
But that's to be I mean, if you're selling clothing, you have to understand sometimes you could have all the measurements there. You know, the person could buy it thinking it's going to fit them. Maybe they think that's what
There's
size
like
they are.
virtual dressing room.
Yeah, and then they get it in the mail, they try it on, they look in the mirror, and they're like, I don't know about this.
The funniest.
You just have to, as a seller, you just have to know, like, sometimes that could happen. Someone might not like that piece of clothing, or maybe the shoes might be too tight on them or something.
The funniest thing for me, for the stuff you sell, is the purse returns. The color was wrong. You could see that it was blue or red. What do you mean?
Yeah, like if it's a blue purse and they put it, like,
Weird.
for the return reason. Oh, the color wasn't what I thought it was.
It's blue.
It's blue?
I mean,
maybe they thought in their mind it was
colorblind.
a different shade of blue. Maybe they're colorblind.
No, it's all yeah.
Like there was a piece of jewelry once I sold.
Oh,
I did end up selling it again, and
Yes.
they were happy with
And
it.
you're-
But I had a $200 return once. It was a little 10-karat gold ring and necklace set,
Gold.
and it was fire topaz.
Yeah.
And that stone is multicolored. It's
Opalescent-y, sort not really,
it's
but
like iridescent,
Iridescent,
but
yeah.
it had like greens and reds in it. It had different colors
depending
in
on
it.
how you kind of.
So I tried to take as many photos as possible and tried to have the lighting real nice and bright. So when I first sold it,
Look at that, everyone. You're being upstaged by Louie's
cat butt.
cat butt. Look at that, everybody. Happy
Louis-
Tuesday.
Louie's mooning you guys.
You have any questions for his Louie's little? Hey, come on, turn around, Lou. Don't,
We like the other end of the Louis.
There
belly.
we go. Don't moon everybody. There you go, boy.
But yeah, when I first sold it, they said that they didn't like the color on it. They thought it was going to have more orange in it. It wasn't quite what they thought it was. So I'm like, okay, fine. You could send it back. And they did send it back. It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I just relisted it, and it did sell like a few months later. And the person that bought it the second time around was okay with it.
So let's some people are talking about stuff. Let's Sinead says she once found a 1930s full set of dishes in mint condition. That's really cool.
It was very expensive. Wow.
It was inexpensive, she says.
Oh, inexpensive.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, like those old what we've found before, and they're so cool and they're made really well. Those old school diner
They're really
like the 1930s or 1940s diner dishes.
Yeah.
The
comfortable.
the old school
Yeah.
coffee cups and saucers. They were like a thicker what is that? Porcelain, ceramic.
It's porcelain, I think.
But they're like made more heavy duty. Some of those are really cool. And it's nice to find those at a bargain if you like vintage dishes, vintage mugs and things like that. Those are a lot of fun.
Grandpappy says, good morning. Good morning, Grandpappy.
Grandpappy. Mark Geary says, a question I have is, in your experience, what sells best? What sells best?
Well, it depends. Let's see, for you, what do you think sells best for you? What would qualify, like price-wise or
like
volume?
category?
How much
Like
stuff?
what category sells best?
Let's
Well, the categories that I sell the most of, which I guess would be my best if I sell the most of them, I would have to say probably purses, shoes, action figures, like collectible toys, some collectible ceramic figurines.
too many. What sells best?
Well,
Whittle it all down.
I'm whittling it down to like a handful.
Okay.
And vintage dolls, like,
'Cause
okay,
that's
so
true.
vintage toys, purses, shoes.
Yeah, doll clothes too. You sell like crazy amount of those.
Vintage doll clothes, if you do the research and you can figure out what set it's from, because there's a million different Barbie things and Barbie sets, and some of those vintage little accessories, people lose them over time. They're hard to find. If you know what you have and do the research, one little doll dress could be like $50.
And how much do you invest in plastic sandwich bags to hold all those two little things?
I am always buying little plastic sandwich baggies to organize everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
For
category.
the little Barbie shoes, the little dresses.
So Mark Geary, he whittled it down. He wants to know what category.
What one category? Huh. Let me look through my solds real quick.
Let me think. I would say for me, I would have to be collectibles, which can be anything I know. But the biggest sale I had was a Munster's lunchbox and thermos set that I put together ultimately. I probably had $400 into it, I would say technically, and I made $1,200 on the sale. So, well, the sale went for $1,200, so I made a decent amount of money on that sale. And that's collectibles, toys, things like that. I think that's my main category I like to deal in. My second would be media, records, or CDs, records, and cassette tapes, and DVDs. But I do really good on those.
It's tough. I'm probably going to have to say vintage is my number one. Vintage is probably number one, and vintage is
clothing.
Vintage is a broad kind of category. Vintage toys and vintage figurines. Collectibles. Yeah, I think collectibles are probably number one. Second, I would have to say probably the more useful, practical stuff like shoes, purses. Sometimes I do really good in those.
Yeah. Well, collectibles.
And then I also sell jewelry. And
that's
jewelry
pretty good too.
Jewelry can sell really good, but it depends on the time of year.
Yeah.
Jewelry is kind of slow right now, but around holidays like Christmas, Valentine's, the jewelry stuff can sell better. Like obviously when people are looking for gifts, maybe they're buying a vintage jewelry piece to gift to someone.
Yeah. I've been doing good with electronics lately too. Really oddball electronic stuff for networking, computer stuff. But then again, going back to collectibles, I mean, those posters that I bought last summer from that yard sale, I bought like a roll. I mean, how many were in there? There might have been like 15, 20 posters, and they were all like gas station, Matchbox, I believe, giveaway type things.
Yeah.
And every time I put one up for like $140, $150, they would sell. I don't know why.
Yeah, you did really good with those. I remember.
Yeah, I might have, for that $25 investment, I definitely made close to $500 on jet, and I still have some left. I need to put them up.
See, and I remember that sale where you bought those posters from. That same sale, I remember the lady had an antique sewing machine. It was the one with the foot pedal. It wasn't even electric.
The whole cabinet.
It was the whole cabinet. It was the whole machine. It was an old Singer sewing machine with the really cool cast iron legs. She was giving it away. Free. And at the time, I'm like, well, I don't know if we have any room. Oh, thanks anyway. I should have just grabbed it because people are now parting those out. Like they'll sell the machines separate. They'll sell the tables separate.
The legs.
They'll sell the little wooden drawers separate.
Yeah, that little
the paddle, the foot pedal. They'll sell like they part everything out. Yeah, and some people will take those. They'll upcycle them.
Yeah.
They'll take those sewing machine tables and then they take the legs and turn them into like little side tables, little decorative tables. Some people will restore the machines. So I should have grabbed that for free when she offered it to me. That's one thing that I regret from the yard sales.
So Ocean Shrugs says, I bought a house and the shed was full of old dishes wrapped in newspapers from the 50s.
Ooh.
They're from different countries and I don't know how to sell or appraise them at all. Well.
So Ocean Shrugs, on the plates, on the dishes, check the markings underneath. Obviously check the condition. If they have chips, if they have cracks, they're not going to be worth as much. Some of them you just might have to throw away if they're too beat up. But if they're in decent condition, you can clean them up with dish soap, let them, take nice pictures and research them. Take the time to check the markings. You can Google the brand, the different markings that are on the plates. Some might sell, some might not sell that good. Even if they don't sell for a lot or they're not worth a lot, they could be perfectly good dishes and plates where you could donate them to someone.
Yeah, and if you need some information on how to or some quick tips on how to research them, you can look them up. Like Janet said, look on the bottom and look at the markings.
Yes.
Type that into eBay, see what comes up, and most importantly, go and see what's sold. Go to the filter. There's a filter button
on the little tab that says filter.
Yeah,
you can check what's sold in the past 90 days.
Yeah, see what's sold
to see what they actually sell for.
I mean, you may already know this, but anyone can ask for anything on eBay. Like I could say, hey, this USB $1,000 for whatever reason, just because that's what I want to sell it for.
They're not worth $1,000.
Well, but
they don't sell for $1,000.
I can ask whatever I want for it. But we should check, and especially if it's just a blank USB, nothing on it. There wasn't Kennedy's secret, or even though they didn't have USB, doesn't have the secret tape of Kennedy being assassinated on it. Da, 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 da. It's just a blank USB, $1,000. What do they sell for? This blank USB, $2. I mean, that's what they're going for. But so that's what you want to check too. So check the sold price
to
on
see
eBay.
what people are actually paying for them.
Yeah, if you can't find anything on eBay by searching it, second step is go to Google.
Check Google
Just
because there's also vintage sellers of things like that on
Right.
Etsy and like Ruby Lane.
Yes.
There's other vintage online stores. So if you don't find anything on eBay, yeah, definitely Google it.
And another option, if you're really, really gung-ho about doing this and finding out, I would say maybe go onto Facebook if you have a Facebook account and see if there are any groups that specialize in identifying antiques. And some are very niche, like they'll be antique plates. There may be a group just for that.
Those groups have helped us a lot when we've done
God.
research and we can't, let's say we look something up and we can't find much on it.
Yeah.
There's some different Facebook groups for vintage and antiques, and you could join those groups and you could post stuff on there and ask the community.
And these people are just so
They
way more
love it.
into
Yeah,
it than you'll ever
there's a
be.
lot of Facebook sleuths out there.
Like I could start a group with some knowledge I have on certain things, but obviously I don't know everything. So
Yeah.
I find the people like me that know about the toys, especially like here's a good example. So at one point I was looking for an action figure that all I had to go on was what I remembered probably when I was about 12 years old, which was a long time ago, 12 or 13. It was an action figure that it wasn't a G.I. Joe. I mean, I would know that. But it was something, and I had a vague idea what I thought, and this is how weird it was. I remembered about what size it was, a little bit about what was on the, how the faces looked or something.
So all you did was put in the description.
But and the color. I thought
And that was
all,
enough.
And I thought it was all kind of a pink or orange color. That's all I remember. Little man action.
Something
figure
that
with
you saw
vehicles.
when you were a kid.
Yeah, and
you didn't know what action
it
figure
was at a church
was.
rummage sale speaking of Boy Scouts, the troop I belong to, we have our meetings in a church like a lot of Boy Scouts troops, and they had a church sale that was going to go on, and we were digging through the stuff that people donated, and I saw I didn't take them, but I thought they were so cool, so I put them back in the box, and that was the last I saw of it. That was it. This was decades ago. So I go to I think it's Action Figure Identification.
Yes, there's an action figure group on Facebook, and they are super intelligent.
So
they can identify any action figure.
So what's weird is
any little plastic piece and parts.
Well, and this is my testimony from the most vague description ever. I drew a little picture of what I remembered it looking like, which could have been anything. It was just like basically a generic little guy. I remembered more detail, but then again, I didn't. Anyway, long story short, I put it up there. You got a lot of people going, what is this? There's no look. If I knew what it was, I wouldn't need you to identify
Yeah,
it.
sometimes you do get some smart ass comments.
Oh my God.
Like,
where's the picture?
you're asking, well, there's one group on Facebook where I posted something, and
What is this?
What is this?
Oh boy,
And let's for example, let's say, oh, here's a vase. This is the marking. What does that mean, or who made it? And some dummy will be like, it's a vase.
You put flowers in it.
You put flowers in it.
I know that.
They'll give you some really dumb answer.
But it's such a way. So anyway, but yes, I was able to within I'd say an hour or two after I posted this really super vague drawing. My best recollection of what it was, I didn't have any markings, nothing to go on, no identifying marks.
Right.
And a few people posted a couple things, and then when I saw the picture of it, I'm like, that's it. When I saw it, I knew that if I saw a photograph
so you were
of it,
ent to find out what it was.
Went right on eBay, ordered one, $30 later, I got this thing. I never played with it as a kid. I never had it, but it was it always bugged me growing up. Like, what were those little weird action figures? Because I love toys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I knew they weren't, G.I. Joe. I knew they weren't Star Wars. It was some weird and it was
all
a generic,
these years later you could find it.
And it was one of those generic kind of figures. It was a toy line, but a very small one. I think Matchbox put it out. But I think it was called Man of Action. But I have it all, filed away on my little digital file, pictures and stuff.
So
but anyway.
Mercari, people were asking what category. I was listing old records and some dolls on Mercari, and some of them have been selling, and it's very easy to list old records and VHS tapes on there.
I can go grab that figure. Go ahead.
And I think Mercari has a younger crowd where they like the stuff from the 80s and 90s, and they're like, oh, dude, that's retro. I want it.
Retro. I'm retro.
It's retro. Yeah, we're retro. We're vintage. According to Etsy, anything that's 20 years or older is considered vintage. So stuff from 2001 now, it's 20 years old. It's considered vintage. But yeah, I was having some luck on there, but I don't put as many listings on Mercari as I do on eBay. I do mostly eBay, but I am trying to venture out to other sites a little bit to see. There are some people that swear by Shopify, putting things on Shopify. I guess Amazon, Shopify, and eBay are like the top 3 selling websites. Shopify I would have to figure out and learn more about, but there's people on YouTube that are like, oh dude, Shopify, it's so cool. Oh, did you find it?
Yeah, we'll do a little show and tell, because that's fun. I don't know what it has to do with eBay other than...
And then we'll continue on after that and go
Whee!
into the horror hosting behind the scenes talk.
They're already getting dusty.
So we'll wrap up the reselling part of this in a few.
So here's the little guys I was looking for all this time. And it's funny because I do remember them being multiple. And they sold these guys in sets, and they're like all these little orange uniforms. But they're just like little... I remember the face being kind of detailed. And I thought this is what I remember too, the little boxiness of their bodies.
So those are the ones you saw when you were a kid. And all
like
those years later, you found them.
Looked at them for a few minutes as a little kid, and then it always bugged me, like, what were those things? What were those figures? Because they were so kind of cool, and they were tinier.
Yeah.
Than like a Star Wars figure or something. They're just small. And then I like obscure stuff like that, but this has nothing to do with what I was talking about other than they're just cool. But I don't know if anybody remembers these guys.
Who are those guys?
They're called the Metal Men, and they were they're die-cast metal figures. They're robots. They had army men that were silver, kind of like way before the Terminator 2 guy.
I thought those were Daft Punk action figures.
No.
They look like Daft Punk.
These were by a company called Z-Toy, or also known as Zylemex. And they were just, again, Star Wars inspired a lot of these, a lot of manufacturers that put out some sort of space-oriented toys.
Metal!
But they are metal men. But they're really cool. Anyway, so that's it. That's my show and tell for the day.
That's funny.
But I think this toy line was called Men of Action. I forget, but I have it up. I had, like I said.
Well, I have one thing I
Who
can
cares?
show.
I do.
So I was at a thrift store the other day looking for some clothes for myself.
There you go. You got show and tell.
And I found this girl. And
Hey,
I paid about $3 for her.
It's not Miley Cyrus.
Not Miley Cyrus. She kind of looks like Miley. She has a shape. She's a Barbie doll, but she has like this flocked hair, like the sides of her head are shaped. She kind of has like this mohawk kind of thing going on. It's kind of cute.
Party in the USA.
Yeah, and she has a more like modern shape where she doesn't have the tiny waistline. She looks more realistic than like the old Barbies. But brand new in the box, she goes for $50. So I'm thinking I could probably put her on eBay for 25 or 30 used. But I have to find some more accessories for her. I have to find some shoes for her and stuff to make her look good for the pictures.
Looks like I have a compadre here. Mark Geary totally remembers Metal Men, and he's right. I had the UFO too. If you have that UFO set, the saucer with the clear dome that came with this guy here, that thing is, man, that's money. I remember looking at that at the shelf in the store, and I wanted that thing so bad. And my mom did got it for me for my birthday, I think, or for Christmas actually. Got it for Christmas. Matter of fact, got a photograph of me holding it as a kid. That thing, it was like a silver saucer, like a grayish, plastic.
Yeah.
With a clear dome, and man, that thing is money if you could find it. Those are impossible to find.
Sounds like they are.
And they had NASA. They had astronauts too. But the cool thing about them, they look like men, except their faces were silver. They didn't even try to paint them like a human color.
Oh.
They were almost, again, remind me of the Terminator 2 type of T-2000. But anyway, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'm not the only one that remembers this crap. These are like dime store knockoff Star Wars toys, but they're the coolest ones.
They're fun.
Yeah.
They're really cute.
All right, so...
Well, you probably don't want me to say they're cute. I mean, they're cool
they're
looking.
Awesome. They're awesome.
I don't think you guys want me to say, oh, your action figures are cute.
Yeah, you can say what you want.
I think they're cute, though.
You're cute.
Oh, thank you. You're cute.
Oh. You just shake your eyes. Anyway.
Anyways, so before everyone wants to vomit from hearing us babble, we're going to talk about the horror host stuff.
So we're switching so is that it with eBay? We're good?
So we're good with the reselling talk. We're going to wrap it up. But if you guys ever have reselling questions, you could always email us.
Yeah.
themummyandthemonkey@gmail.com, or put it in the video comments if you watch the replay later, and we'll try to answer your questions
Boom.
the best we can. There you go.
Oh, I laughed like Grimm a little bit there. I should have done that.
All right, and oh yeah, so we picked out a movie for this Friday.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna play another. This will be episode 128
Wow.
of the Mummy and the Monkey's Hairy Scary Hangout,
Wow.
and the movie
Is
Carnival of Souls.
Ooh, I can't believe we haven't shown that one yet.
It's a creepy movie.
It's
a
actually
very
a
creepy
good movie.
It's
Yeah.
actually put to like for being a bad old movie. It's good.
It's not a bad old movie. either.
It's really not that bad.
I remember
Yeah.
hearing about this movie, may have seen it a long, long time ago, but it wasn't until, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago when I finally watched it.
Mm-hmm.
That I was kind of blown away. I was like, wow, this kind of came at me like a Sixth Sense type of thing. I didn't know what was going on really until the
Yeah.
end. I was like, wow.
And throughout the whole movie, it had this like eerie feeling.
Yeah.
There's this eerie vibe to
Yeah,
it.
it's done really well. So it's the better of the bad. Let's see, B doesn't stand for bad, by the way. In B movie, it doesn't stand for that.
Oh yeah.
Mm-mm. You didn't know that?
No, it was when they would do the double features.
Right, there'd be the A movie.
The
which
A
would
movie,
be the good movie.
which
and
would be the more popular movie,
and then the B movie.
and then the B movie.
Right, like kind of like a record, the A side and the B
A
side.
side and B side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
45, I should say.
Like the records and tapes.
Not an LP because that's side 1 and 2, but when you bought the small 45 singles, it would be side A, side B.
Right.
So that's what that really means. Now, if you have a grade Z movie, that's
Ooh, yeah, the grade Z movies are really bad.
yeah. But anyway, Manos.
like Manos, The
Right.
Hands of Fate. That's really, really bad.
But anyway, the Carnival of Souls should be fun. It'll have the drop-ins and sound effects, you know, that Grimm is known for. John Saxon will appear in it, I'm sure, somewhere.
Yeah, so you're gonna add the cool sound effects that people love and they've been craving for, because the past
Yes.
2 Hairy Scary Hangout episodes, we were playing independent films, which are still fun to watch, but people like the sound effects.
Yes, James, pants are optional, of course, for all of our programs.
Another no pants necessary
Yeah.
show. Well,
It
we're
looks
not
like
wearing pants. We're
It
wearing,
looks like you're not wearing pants.
yeah,
Will
I'm
you
wearing
cover your-
shorts.
Yeah, be careful.
Yeah, I got shorts
And I
on.
am too. I'm not no pants.
And I look real pasty right now.
But that's okay. Sometimes the songs on the B-side were better. And I agree with that, Gory Bits. That is true. Some B-sides were better than some of the singles that were
Yeah.
released for some of these bands.
And awesome, Gory Bits is here in the chat.
Yes.
Gory Bits has their own YouTube channel, and it's a lot of fun. If you guys want to check that out later.
We were on that the Dino thing with them, right? They did they also submitted a
Yeah,
favorite
the
horror
late,
movie?
we were all part of that late horror show, horror movie special that they did on YouTube. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, we're looking forward to hosting that with the sound effects, with the John Saxon search, and
David Lynch turned down Carnival of Souls to direct it. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, that's way out there.
so movie tidbits we didn't know.
And thank God it turned out to be still a good movie.
It did.
Yeah. So carnivals will be fun to work on. And we hopefully, I don't know if I have a new skit or not. We're gonna be trying to work on it.
Yeah, we need to figure out what we're gonna, because we always want to shoot new skits. We have a bunch of ideas written down. It's just getting the props, getting the time to carve out to sit and do it.
We have to do it.
Yeah, we do have some new skits we want to do in the future. A lot of people ask about the comedy skits that we play.
I see. I missed something. Wait a minute. Okay, so Ocean. It
Are we
wasn't
missing a
Carnival of
comment?
Souls. I didn't know Lynch went back that far. I didn't think so. So speaking of because of Star Wars, did you know that Lucas talked to David Lynch about directing Star Wars? Oh, now that would be.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Well,
that would have been interesting.
Yeah, that would have been really interesting. I would. Why not have him read their? Can he do some like other universe Star Wars sort of split off? Maybe that would be kind of neat.
That would be.
DC does it with their multiple worlds, and I think Marvel's got something going on where because they have the
like a
multiverse
different version.
The Spider-Man,
Yeah.
like in the Spider-Man animated thing, they had multiple Spider-Men from different. Why
Right.
not? Blue Vader. Yeah, that would have. Well, he had the breathing thing. Or Dennis Hopper as Darth Vader. How great would that be?
Oh gosh.
Luke, don't you effing look at me. Don't you look at me. That would be great. I would watch that.
And we're trying to. We can't go into details about it right now. Hopefully later on we can have a fun announcement.
Oh.
But we are trying to get a better variety of movies.
Yes.
And we're talking to some people that would.
We're in negotiations.
We're in negotiations. Our people are talking to their people.
Yeah, no.
And
Yeah,
we're trying to get permission to play some better films.
Which is why we've done other stuff with some, we've shown some independent movies too, just to kind of mix it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But with the indie movies, we try not to mess with them too much, and sometimes, understandably, they'll say no, but sometimes one time we were able to actually. 2 times we actually able to put, right? Or no, it's the one, the John Rain movie.
I think once.
Just the once.
I think it was a John Rain film. It was a vampire movie, and you put sound effects in it. He gave you permission to put sound effects in it.
Yes, and he loved it.
Some indie filmmakers, and we want to respect the independent filmmakers because we're really happy that some of them let us play their movies. But some of some of them we don't want to put sound effects in because we know that they wouldn't like it.
Well,
or that it would be disrespectful to them.
Well, it's a recent vision, and the person's still around. I mean, put sound, and not that any of the movies that we that we butcher with sound effects and everything aren't works of art in their own. Of course they are, but everyone associated with them are probably gone now, and they're not going to take it personal. I've heard lots of stories from Mystery Science Theater how some of the people, actors and directors, are not very happy with them because they did what they did to the movie, commented on it, made fun of it, but it's just, their take on it.
It's just having fun with it. It's not like a personal
not only that, but
attack on anyone's film.
Quite frankly,
the sound effects or the funny comments, it's just out of comedy.
Right.
It's not like.
Not only that, but pretty much everyone's seen these movies over and over and over and over again.
Right.
Attack of the Giant Leeches. All these kind of movies. Little Shop Horrors, you name it. How many times can you watch that without? That's the thing is when you watch our show, we like you to know that you're watching our show all the way through, and not just when we come back from the movie segment. Sometimes I feel like when you watch a horror-hosted show and they're showing, some of the same movies over, which we understand entirely.
Right.
You could have just put that DVD in yourself or that VHS tape yourself. There's nothing engaging other than watching that same movie again. So that's why we had the sound effects.
Yeah. So when we host movies, it's like, especially if it's like, these old, like kind of, cheesy or like bad movies, and not all of them are bad, but I say bad movies loosely.
Right.
I mean, how do we do this differently? How do we present the movie differently? Because a lot of people have seen all these old movies already.
And we didn't come up with the idea of putting sound effects.
No, the Ghoul and Ghoulardi used to do that.
So that's our homage to their shows.
It's our little like tip of the hat to them because it was legendary, and it's like you want to keep some of that going.
And it's working because...
some of that style going.
Because why? Because every time we show a movie that doesn't have sound effects, people will write, where's the sound effects? Or the funniest thing I thought was when we're watching the whatever movie we show, I'm trying to stave off a sneeze here. Hold on a second.
You okay?
Yeah, well, I might have to sneeze. I'm trying not to. But when we're watching a movie, like the Bigfoot movie we showed last week,
yes.
If you read the comments, you see people like typing in sound effects that I might have put in there. Like,
because they'll remember those sound effects that you use. Because sometimes you'll use, a lot of times you'll use like maybe the same 20 sound effects.
I use a small because
in each movie,
Because when I watched The Ghoul growing up, the Ghoul show, that's what you looked forward to, the certain sound effects, And I think that's the same thing. I think you build up sort of a thing that people look forward to hearing certain things, and then I'll sprinkle in some ones that I don't use all the time. But there is a core set that I like to go to, my go-to sound effects.
We have a funny comment. James says James saves many a turd film with his sound effects.
Well, again. We just bought more turd polish, so we're stocked up on it. We got more turds coming.
And Sean says Cinema Wasteland is back on in October.
Oh!
Are you attending? Actually, that was the next thing we were going to talk about.
Good segue.
So Cinema Wasteland is a 3-day convention, and it's usually the first weekend in October or the first weekend in April, depending on where Easter sits.
Located in Strongsville, Ohio, at the Holiday Inn.
It's in Strongsville, Ohio, and it's a fun, smaller horror convention show. It's also a film festival. They have 3 days of films that you could watch. They even have like wrestling shows that you could watch there. There's even the Evil Dead Museum. So for you Evil Dead fans, Tom Sullivan is there. He's
just sitting there. You can meet him and talk to him. It's crazy.
He is the original. Like, he made the Book of the Dead. He made a lot of the props and special effects for the first 2 Evil Dead films. And then he even made the Book of the Dead for the Evil Dead musical.
Yes.
Evil Dead the musical. They used a prop that he made.
You won't meet a nicer human.
And he's super nice in person. He's
great.
also a really nice like drawer, painter, artist guy. So he has his art prints for sale.
He's got some original art.
Some grotesque artwork, some really cool artwork.
He's got the original poster art he did for the first Evil Dead movie in there. Oh, I love it. It's seeing that thing. It's so big. It's like it's probably like 30 by 24.
Yeah.
But it's a painting he did with the hand coming out of the ground, grabbing the lid.
And
the
last,
woman's not. Oh my God.
last year there was no Cinema Wasteland because of the pandemic, obviously. But with things getting better in Ohio, more people getting their vaccines, more restrictions being lifted. They're a go for having the Cinema Wasteland show this October.
It's on, baby. It's on.
And we will be attending Cinema Wasteland October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
We're a go for that.
We will
so,
be
yes,
there.
That's a huge yes.
Yes. So we will be there, and we will be at Akron Comic Con. We're excited about attending some shows this year.
Ocean Shrugs that says that's where he discovered us. Oh, Tom. Oh, hey, how you doing, Tom?
Hi, Tom. And guys, if you like what you're hearing, if you like listening in, hit the like button.
Yeah, subscribe even.
If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We do appreciate you. And it helps support the channel. And even if you don't like what we're talking about, hit the dislike button because it still counts as activity for the channel.
That's right. And thank you so much for...
So thank you for disliking us or liking us.
Yeah, but...
whatever you prefer.
Yeah, but Cinema Wasteland, I think it's going to be kind of off the hook this year. I mean...
I think people are going to just... It's going to be packed.
You know, remember that...
People are going to be all happy. It's going to be fun.
There's that Christmas special, A Year Without a Santa Claus. We had a year without a Wasteland. Man.
Yeah, we had a year without conventions.
So, forget about...
without a Wasteland.
Cinema Wasteland
Cinema Wasteland is one of our favorites.
Yes, it's a convention in its own category.
And what I like about Cinema Wasteland is it is a smaller convention. They do have great guests that come in.
It's a small convention with a real big heart.
It is.
Thank you.
And what's cool about it is, at the larger conventions, at the other conventions, it's less personable. Where you're kind of like, you're in line to get an autograph and it's like, okay, next, sign it. There you go. Bye.
Yeah, they push it through.
But at Cinema Wasteland, they'll actually talk with you for a few minutes. The guests are super nice. When, like, let's say you go to the little restaurant or the bar at the hotel, you'll run into a lot of celebrities and they'll sit, you could be sitting right next to them and you could talk to them and it's not a big deal.
Yeah, so if you're
it's
local,
just like, hey, how's it going?
If you're local and you've never been to Cinema Wasteland, if you're from the Cleveland, Ohio, Northeast Ohio area, just go to YouTube and look up Cinema Wasteland. There's a lot of videos people have shot and posted over the years.
Oh yeah.
It'll give you kind of a rough idea what it can be like there. And it's even more fun than what you're going to see. So
yeah, it's a fun,
great.
Smaller show. They are small but mighty.
Yeah, I don't know if it's small. They get quite a turnout over the weekend.
Compared to like Horror Hound and the large Comic Cons, it's not on that large scale, but they still have a lot
exhaustive.
Yeah, because some of the larger shows are exhausting.
Yeah, not to name anyone in particular, but
yeah, and we're not bashing them because we do like those shows too, but we like them in different ways.
Yeah,
there's different things that we like about each show, and this is what we like about Cinema Wasteland is that it is a more of a smaller show. It's more.
It's
like
a demented family reunion.
It's your friendly neighborhood convention.
Yeah,
it's your demented family.
And looks are deceiving.
The Wasteland is family.
It's so much fun. So we are totally on board for Wasteland this year, of course. And they're doing a movie night before that too at the end of this month.
Oh, they are doing a one-day movie show. I think it's in July.
It's in July.
And we have to look it up to see, if we'll be there or not and check the date and stuff. But it's only $5, I hear.
And they're showing 2 movies
and
on 16mm, right?
Yeah, so the vendors will be there during the day.
Some will, yeah.
And you can shop, and it's like a little meet and greet, talk with the vendors, hang out a little bit. But then, you could take a break, go get dinner, come back, and then they're going to be playing 2
retro movies on 16mm film.
It's always a blast.
So
yeah.
I don't know of any place right now where you could see a movie for only $5.
2 movies.
But in this case, you get to watch 2 movies on old film for only $5.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. You would be amongst you know, similar people. Like
yeah,
yourself.
it'll be the Cinema Wasteland people. You can hang out
Yeah.
and watch a movie with the guys there, the guys and gals and everyone in between. So it'll be cool.
Tom wants to know, will we ever come to the Chiller Con in New Jersey? Or
Never
been there.
We've never been to
know a lot
Chiller.
about it.
We know a lot about it. We've seen like videos on how crazy it could get there. So yeah, I mean, we would love to attend one day.
Yeah, they
maybe next year.
I like the kind of people that they, you know.
Yeah.
The
Chiller people seem to be like the Cinema Wasteland people.
Yeah, it's the
they
same
seem
type of
very similar.
The only thing that both of our biggest regrets is we never went when Zachary was around.
Yeah,
That would have been huge to meet him.
I wish we could have met Zachary when he was still around, because he attended Chiller
Oh my God, he was a staple at Chiller.
every single year for all that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
He was like maybe a year or two short of 100 when he passed.
Yeah, we would have loved to have met him.
And he was in his 90s and still going to Chiller.
So that's
still
a
meeting
lesson.
with fans.
It's a lesson. Yeah, don't wait to see the people that you
Don't
like.
wait to see those guests if you can make it out to see them, because
you never know.
You never know.
But yeah, that would have been a blast. At Chiller at some point, yeah. I mean, maybe next year we'll look into it. Why
Yeah.
not? I mean, even just to go.
Yeah, maybe not even to vent. Maybe just to go for a day to check it out first.
Yeah.
Because to travel out of state and to set up is a lot. It's a lot, and it's not that we're.
But maybe we'd go in character and interview people.
Maybe just go in character for the day, and then
Do some interviews or something like that. That'd
and
be
then
great.
not have to worry about running a booth. Yeah.
Yeah, we I'm sure he was the best. I mean, nothing but good stories about that man.
Yeah. Another one I've
wow.
been wanting to go to is Monster Palooza.
Tom said he's been going to Chiller since the 1990, which
Wow.
means he got to see.
So you got to meet
Well,
Zachary
like, even
and
in
see all those old
and,
guests
and
from back
when the
in the
con
day.
was in its height, because
Yeah, in its heyday, probably the 90s or early 2000s.
yeah, we've seen how the crowds get like on the next day, like from Friday to Saturday, like it's like the lines are around the block, things like that, just to get a ticket.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd love to.
Yeah. So
What else?
okay. Oh, we did speak. So we went to a certain flea market in Ohio 2 weeks ago. No.
Why are you setting up like
Well,
that?
I don't know. Let's see.
We already talked about reselling. Let's move on to the next.
Yeah,
subject.
you're right. I forgot. Okay.
Oh,
so Cliff had some great reviews.
Okay, yeah. And
We were talking about Cliff earlier.
Where is he? Yeah.
Oh, he's
around
over
here
there
somewhere.
taking a nap or something. But that's okay.
Okay.
But so before we hosted our show last Friday, we had a countdown, like a 15-minute countdown before the show, like a pre-show.
I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay.
You could talk about this for a second.
Okay.
Ugh.
And Cliff Jablonski, our little demon puppet guy, our demon monster guy, he's our little tech guru behind the scenes, and he's appeared in some of our videos. Well, Cliff did his own little pre-show before the Hairy Scary Hangout, and people seem to really like it, and they liked the character Cliff. So, yeah, I think we're going to have Cliff come back for future episodes.
Hey, I heard someone was talking about me.
Oh, hey, Cliff, you're awake.
Yeah, how's it going, Janet?
I didn't mean to wake you up. I heard you snoring over there napping.
Hey, no problem. I got enough beauty sleep, I think. I think I'm good to go. Ha-cha.
So, do you want to be in the next Hairy Scary Hangout episode?
Of course, I got my own gig now, right? I got the Hairy Scary Countdown, baby, yeah.
That's fun. It's like a little pre-show before the show, and people can watch you a little bit while they get their snacks and their drinks ready. And
That's right, gorgeous. It's my 15 minutes I get on this show, yeah.
yeah,
Then I spend the rest of the show behind the scenes, screwing everything up, technically, but hey, I'm trying, right?
well, maybe you'll get better at it.
All right, I gotta get some more beauty sleep. Friday's coming up quick, so I gotta go. See you later. Yeehaw!
Bye, Cliff. Well, I wasn't expecting Cliff to show up. That was fun. I'm gonna check the comments.
Well, I couldn't find the toilet paper. Oh well.
Zachary was the best, says Tom. Aw. Mark says the Cliff pre-show was an awesome thing.
Well.
Ocean
was
says, gotta
Cliff
love
here?
Cliff. Yeah, he was just here.
Geez,
You
I must
missed
have missed
him.
him. Yeah, I was busy rooting around for some TP in there.
Oh.
Oh well.
I thought we had it well stocked. I guess we'll have to pick up some more.
As you would say, ship happens, right?
Ship happens,
That's right.
yes.
Anyway, all right, wherever Cliff went to. Yeah, that guy, he's always around here somewhere.
But yeah, Cinema Wasteland was the big thing we wanted to talk about because people were asking, are you going to be at Cinema Wasteland? Are they going to have Cinema Wasteland? Because they weren't even sure
Yeah.
if they were going to have the convention this year or not.
Yeah, well, speaking of horror hosts, we were talking about Zachary. It's come to our attention that there's an opinion out there that horror hosting maybe not as special as it used to be because there's too many horror hosts out there.
Too many.
Yeah, like the less there were, the more special it would be, like the genre is, and I don't know about that.
So someone told us that.
Well,
That is,
there's an opinion out there.
and that's an opinion of some people.
It might. I think it could be more than one person that may think
Yeah,
this.
well,
Okay,
we've heard it from a few people.
so there's an
Yeah.
opinion out there.
Yes,
That there
yes.
might be, and I don't know what most people think. I think it's like anything else. I think if there was one brand of, I don't know, hot dog or one brand of orange juice, I mean, Tropicana's not so special because there's 100 different store brands and other brands. No.
Mhm.
If your brand is the best or tastes better or tastes good, then or performs good no matter what it is,
Right.
There should only be one brand of batteries or only a few brands of batteries. There's too many battery brands out there. No, the best performance, that's with anything that's out there. The best ones, not that we are the best at anything or good at anything, but my point is that I don't have a problem with everybody, throwing a top hat on and want to be a horror host. That's fine.
Yeah, like if you want to be a host or a podcaster or whatever you're doing, go for it.
Yeah.
It's not just about horror hosting, because if you think about it, like when you hear someone say, "Oh, there's too many horror hosts," or "It's not as special because there's so many of them." Well, there's a million different podcasters, but everyone has their favorites.
To quote House of Pain, the cream of the crop rise to the top, right? That's how it works, right? The cream of the crop will rise to the
I
top.
found Earl.
So yeah,
Hey, guys.
I don't think that horror hosting is diluted any more than any other sort of thing. And the crazy thing about horror hosting now, let's say like the basketball, for example, right? I mean, a lot of the people that play basketball, a lot of athletes, number one, they're physically able to do this. Not everyone can just do that type of thing, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure they're in the hopes that they'll make a living at it, right? As well, there's money in it. Whether you're sitting on the bench or you're the top player, right? You're Steph Curry,
or maybe the announcer.
or
Maybe you're not. Okay.
No,
I was thinking
just
outside the box there too.
But let's stay focused.
Okay.
So whether you're LeBron James, like killing everybody out there, or you're the guy sitting on the bench, you're a bench warmer type of guy, you're still making a living doing it, right?
Mhm.
Weird thing about horror hosting specifically is that a lot of the times it's a labor of love for most of us. We do it
Yeah.
because we love the genre,
Me too.
but my thing now is that we started out doing this as a way to express ourselves because we were it let us encompass use all of the stuff that we're interested in, the art stuff, writing things,
Mhm.
filming, editing.
And everyone has their own style. So there's different hosts that are on different platforms that have their own style, their own character. So I disagree with some of those statements where people think, oh, there's
Right.
too many, or it's not as special because you're not on TV,
or you're not
something
a
weird
legitimate
like that.
horror host
Yeah.
because you're not on a television
Because you're
platform.
not on a channel.
Right.
But, we disagree
Well, we
with
technically
that.
are now, though. So
Well, kind of.
we're technically on a
Kind
channel.
of.
But my point is that
I have cat hair on me now. How'd
yeah,
that
well,
happen?
that's a Louis thing.
That was from Earl.
But,
That was
Earl's
the-
in here.
that was
Oh,
Earl. You missed
You got
him.
to see two cats today.
Yeah, Earl showed up.
But my point is that we've, but Janet and I have taken this thing, and it started out as a labor of love and something fun to do,
Mhm.
because the internet allows people to do podcasting, whatever they want to do, pick their nose
Movie
on
reviews. Yeah.
There's a certain kid out
Cooking
there
shows,
that makes
whatever.
millions of dollars opening toys. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's gonna tell that kid he's not a legit performer?
My earring fell out of my ear.
He's making more money than some performer than some actors out there.
Yeah.
Doing it professionally or whatever. Anyway, my point is that you and I have started doing that, and we're slowly turning it into a business.
Yeah.
We actually have some income from the Mummy and the Monkey.
Well, you know,
T-shirts,
when
the
we sell
merchandise we do.
T-shirts or DVDs, it keeps the channel going where
So that should legitimize us.
some of the monies from that we can use to like buy a new camera if we need that, get more SD cards.
Yeah,
If we need new light, like it does help cover that.
that is true. So yeah,
It's not like, oh, we're so, we're not living in luxury, but at the same time we're fine.
but we're actually able to, like, the show can support itself
Yeah.
from what we make from the show.
Mhm.
For now, and then if it gets better, then fine.
It's becoming self-sustaining,
Yes.
which is really nice. We're really grateful for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for the fans and the followers and the people who are, you guys out there who are listening and watching us right now.
And as Gory Bit said, and re-quoting Count Gord Duvall, the great Count Gord Duvall,
Yes.
what he said about horror hosts.
There's plenty of room for-
in the coffin.
Yeah. Plenty of room for all of us, says Gory. But Count Gord Duvall has said more than once, there's plenty of room in the coffin for all of us.
Yeah. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. Why shoot down someone's dream? That too. It's like telling a garage band, some kids playing in a band, you'll never be a musician because you're not on a record label. Well, not yet. You're not.
But you got to start somewhere.
And why do you need? And it's
why would you want to squash someone's creativity or someone's creative outlet?
Right.
Like I would never want
why.
to crush someone's hopes and dreams.
That
That sounds terrible, right?
There's an obvious answer, and there's no reason to say it, but you know why people do that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
because of their own insecurities.
So yeah, I beg to differ with that opinion that horror hosting specifically isn't as special because there's too many horror hosts out there. I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean all the horror hosts have, anyone that watches them.
Yeah.
I hope they do, but there's
yeah,
no guarantee.
and that can be applied to not just horror hosting,
Of course.
but yeah, like look what we said earlier, the podcasters, the other
there should
YouTubers.
only be a few podcasters because there's too many. No,
No.
people will find the ones they like, and that's who will be listened to, and those are the ones that will succeed.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we make YouTube videos, right? I mean, on our reselling,
Mm-hmm.
and
We're not, and that's, some people will create a YouTube channel for certain categories, like, some of the resellers on YouTube will have one YouTube channel just for going to garage sales. One might have one just for showing what they sold. It's like, for us, we just have one channel and you get to see it all. You get to see all the stuff that we're interested in. You get to hear us talk about these different topics. So it's us. This is what we are. This is what we do. And
well, I'm saying there's other reseller, like say reselling,
Yeah.
specifically. We put out reselling videos, and
they'd be like someone saying, "Oh, there's too many."
yeah, but
Yeah.
but then we are familiar. Obviously, we watch other resellers. They'll put a video up an hour later. They have 53,000 views. We don't even have 53,000 views with all of our videos combined.
Yeah,
So
we're like,
what do you do? I mean,
yeah,
but there you go. They found their niche, and who's this? I'm not going to say there's too many.
no,
I need to shut my
because
mouth.
they're
I
having
can't-
success with it. So it's like, well, that's awesome.
Tell them that.
We need to strive for
Yeah.
our own success.
Yeah, we've seen other resellers start low. I mean, within a matter of a year or two, build up pretty good too.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to catch that wave too somehow if we can, and I know it has to probably do with consistency and quality, and we're working on that because we got some new GoPros. We didn't talk about that yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was in my notes. Yeah, we picked up a few weeks ago 2 new GoPros, and we do have flea market footage from Memorial Day
Yes.
that we still need to upload. I was having issues with my editing program, so I need to get an updated program to put more things on YouTube.
Excuse me.
And James has been swamped with work, so
We're working as hard as we can.
I was gonna have him put the video up. But
getting out content. Yeah,
he's
I'll throw
been
something
working,
together. I'll
so
try
I didn't want to bug him too much.
Well, we'll get something out soon with that. If I put it together, you upload it. That's all.
Yeah,
So I can keep working on it.
because you're also a freelance graphic designer,
I am.
so he gets
Past 3
deadlines and has clients. Yeah,
Will it be 3 years?
that you went freelance.
Well, not on my own. I'm coming up with. I have my big job review this month. I think.
Your boss.
Yeah. Yeah, I like posting that on like Facebook and said I got my job review this month. People are like, good luck. Hope everything goes good. I'm like,
And they don't realize
Well, the joke is,
that you're when you're self-employed, you're the boss.
Yeah.
If something's wrong, it's on you. You got to figure it out.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
strangely enough, my review is at a bar. Huh? I wonder how that's gonna go. Is there be drinks involved? That's cool. Promotion. Whatever the hell I want to do.
Yeah, pretty
There's-
much.
There you go. I'm definitely not getting fired.
Well, let's check the comments.
Yeah.
And yeah, we didn't do a podcast the past couple weeks, and we do apologize, guys. So we're gonna get back into it. Maybe Tuesday mornings we could just do this.
This feels better.
It feels more chill.
Yeah, especially since I got like I
like it.
think my blood is like 90% coffee right now. I'm like feeling really kind of.
Yeah.
I gotta get some food in me.
Yeah, we gotta get some.
Yeah.
All we had was a bagel. We gotta find
We
something
didn't
else.
get too much information. All we had was a bagel. I had my plane. James puts bagels. I mean, did you drink? I imbibed some water. I believe you imbibed apple juice. TMI, baby.
Count Gore is our local horror host,
Yes,
says
that's
Mark.
cool. Well, he's the. Look at me. I'm all.
Gorri
jumping
says, I have
around.
much love and respect for
Yeah.
horror hosts. Coffee sounds great.
Yeah.
Give yourself a raise, maybe a few more vacation days.
I agree with you. Yeah. Well, I get to already sleep in and everything. So.
Well, guys, yeah, we're going to wrap this up. But yeah, thank you so much for listening in. If you're watching the replay of this later, thank you guys. Hit like, hit subscribe. If you have questions, comments, concerns, put it in the comments down below. And I think that's it for now, right?
Yeah. Ocean Shrug said he's pumped to see us at Cinema Wasteland.
Yay!
We gonna be there, baby.
Yeah, we look
So
forward to
much fun.
seeing everyone in person again.
Zeblik missed some of it when he was during a work call.
Oh, that's okay. You
but
can
check
watch the replay
out,
later. No
'Cause
worries.
It's being streamed live, so it
Yeah.
shouldn't take any time for it to cycle through and be up to watch.
It shouldn't take long.
But
Yeah.
as opposed to uploading it. But yeah, thank you
Okay.
all again for joining us on this Tuesday morning. I think we're gonna reschedule our we're gonna do them live like this.
Why not? It's easier to upload.
It's so much easier, I think, too.
And you don't have to watch the video. Some people could just listen in.
That's right.
Because originally the podcast was audio only.
All right, so maybe it'll be a video one now. Who knows?
Now
And we can do more show and tell and stuff.
We could be audio video.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for joining us for Living the Scream. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.
Okay, bye-bye. Mwah.